Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope everyone is staying safe, and most of all, I hope you've had some time to fight that war against the Grey. Today, we've got another video in our Start Collecting series, and this one is thanks to a request by one of our YouTube subscribers. So today, we're going to be looking at the Skyfaring Dwarden of the Mortal Realms, the Kharadron Overlords. Kharadron Overlords are a technologically advanced race. They use lighter than air gold to power their machinery and masterful weaponry. And they're really quite an interesting army and a really cool army to have to paint and build and collect. There's just so much uniqueness about this army and it's fantastic. I've got an army of them sitting on my side desk here waiting to be built. I've got a bunch more coming soon and I can't wait to get painting my own Kharadron Overlords. But today we're going to talk about the Start Collecting Kharadron Overlords box and what I think about it, what we can do with it, the contents of the box and how they work, and also where we can expand upon that. This is aimed at new players and aimed at creating a fun and friendly sort of list. That doesn't mean that we're not trying to win our games, but we're trying to get units in and generate the feel of the Kharadron Overlords army with this video. So let's start by looking at what is in the box to begin with. So you can see at the front here we've got a character wielding a giant two-handed hammer, and he is known as an Endron Master. Endron Masters are the sort of mechanics of the Kharadron Overlords. And this dude has a giant hammer. He can actually power that hammer up and it can be quite devastating. He obviously suffers from the generic sort of things that you would expect Dwarden to suffer from, in that he's pretty slow. And that's really his biggest downfall. He does pack a punch though, and he does has a decent armor save as well. Give him some cool equipment and you've probably got a decent character on your hands. You just need to find a way to transport him. We'll get to that though. So the unit behind him on foot are known as Grundstock Thunderers, and these are a fantastic unit and a great hobby potential unit. Now, I will say the more common loadout that people seem to go with focuses on having a lot more of the rifles rather than the cool different variation of special weaponry within the unit. However, for me, I couldn't recommend any more than building every single special weapon at least once and giving your general the drill bill on his shoulder and putting an icon on another one. This unit has so much potential to be a really fun and entertaining painting project that just not building all the different special weapons just doesn't seem to do it justice. To me, personally. Though, yes, I will recommend that from what Kharadron Overlords players I know that play a lot more competitively, that all rifles seem to be the way to go. But yeah, the Grundstock Thunderers are a fantastic unit and you can't go very wrong with them. The dudes up the back, you can see three of them, playfully known as Balloon Boys, or more commonly known as either Sky Wardens, which you can see pictured here with their giant spears, or you also have a version of them called Endron Riggers, which are sort of like hanger-on mechanic dudes, and they have these giant athematic saws. Both of them are pretty combat sort of based, and that is the general gist of these units, that they're a bit faster moving, more combat based, so they can have some shooting loadouts, and they do put out a decent amount of shooting. All Kharadron Overlords sort of put out a decent amount of shooting, so that's what it is. But yeah, they're interesting to build. They give you another sort of dynamic to sort of build and paint, which is really cool. The last model in the back there is the smallest of all the airships available to Kharadron Overlords, and is a Grundstock Gunhauler. Grundstock Gunhaulers generally can't carry any troops, though there are some things within the Kharadron Overlords battle tome that allows you to carry a small amount of troops on the Gunhaulers. But for the most part, they don't carry troops. They've got a single cannon, and they're pretty much a portable cannon around the battlefield. So a cannon's cool all the time, but what about a portable one that flies around the battlefield? That's even cooler to me. So all in all, like, this Start Collecting box is very shooting focused. Like, without a doubt, you can put a lot of shooting, but you do have some combat pieces in there that can help you learn different parts of the game. And you've got some movement potential in the army as well. Worth noting, like on the note of movement potential, that all Kharadron Overlords airships have a rule called Sky High, where they can fly up into the clouds and then sort of drop down anywhere on the battlefield. It's a really cool mechanic and gives you that feel that the Kharadron can strike from anywhere at any time. But where do we go to next from here for the Kharadron Overlords? And so the one thing I will say about the Start Collecting box is it doesn't actually contain a pure battle line unit for the Kharadron Overlords. Sky Wardens and Endrin Riggers, Grundstock Gunhaulers and Thunderers can all be battleline, but they all require different things to be happening within the army to be battleline. The first unit I'm going to suggest you make a decent purchase of, and I probably would recommend you purchase 3 of these units. They'll serve you well. 3 of these boxes, no matter what you do, are going to be useful to you. And you'll find you use them a lot more in a lot of lists just because they are the only pure battle line option you get for Kharadron Overlords, and that is Archanaut Company. As I've said, Archanaut Company are the only pure battle line, so which means you don't have to worry about making anyone your general or playing under a certain barrack or anything like that, which is cool. So I always would recommend any Kharadron Overlord player should always just own 3 boxes of Archanaut Company, so you got your 3 minimum battle line squads, and you can play any variation of army you want with that. That would be my first recommendation. They're also a really cool unit as they have a bunch of different special weapons. Each unit can actually contain a sergeant with a tri-barreled pistol. They also get a sky pike, which is like a giant pike similar to what you can see on the Sky Wardens there. They have a Gatling gun and a giant harpoon launcher. So they're a really cool unit. And they actually can be quite decent. Like, they've got a 4-up save base, and if they get bigger units, they do get Aether Gold, and they can actually choose to like reroll save rolls of 1, reroll some save rolls, which is really cool. The second unit I would recommend having a look at. Now, this one is going to be a little bit difficult to get. So at current, he is not available for individual purpose. This is the Endrin Master with Dirigible Suit. So he came out in the Aether Wars box. If you can manage to track down a half of the Aether Wars box and grab this guy, then I really recommend doing it. But there are some ways you can probably convert up this model. And I would definitely recommend going to like the Kharadron Overlord Facebook groups and stuff like that, and just asking people to ask for some conversion tips and stuff like that. You'll probably find buying something like maybe Brock Grunson or something like that will be a good basis to start making this sort of Endrin Master character with Dirigible Suit. But why do we want him is the question. Well, he makes your Sky Wardens and Endrin Riggers, the Balloon Boys, battle line. And so it once again gives you more battle line options, but this dude gives more units than any other thing battle line. He makes 2 more units battle line. Everything else only makes 1 extra thing battle line. So I really recommend grabbing him next, as he'll just make your Balloon Boys and all those guys there a little bit more effective on the tabletop. Being able to be battle line, you could probably play like an all Balloon Boy army if you really wanted to go down that route that far. My third suggestion, you can see is the Sky Vessels, and the bigger Sky Vessels. I mean, this is why you're collecting Kharadron Overlords. You like dwarves, sure. You like steampunk, sure. But it's the airships, for me, that are the real reason you collect Kharadron Overlords. There are 2 different airships that are bigger than the Grundstock Gunhauler that you'd already own, having gotten the Start Collecting box. You've got the smaller frigate, which is a middle sort of vessel between the Gunhauler I've got pictured there and the Ironclad in the bottom picture that I've got there. And then, of course, you've got that aforementioned Ironclad, which is a giant airship. The Ironclad is just so massive a model. It's utterly fantastic. I do get the privilege to play against a friend who has like an Ironclad, and just seeing it on the table just makes your battlefields look that much more epic. Airships are also fantastic as they can transport your troops around the battlefield. They have the sky high ability that I mentioned before, where they can just sort of jump around the battlefield as much as they want. There are some restrictions on fly high, and I strongly suggest you go read the full restrictions on how it sort of works, but that's the general idea behind it. But yes, definitely if you're playing Kharadron Overlords, go invest in the bigger Sky Vessels. They're fantastic models and just a bunch of fun to paint and build. I can't wait till I get to paint mine. I've got a couple of frigates sitting there waiting for some paint. The last thing I'm going to suggest is picking up an Aether Chemist and some Endless Spells. Now, I know that might sound weird, Endless Spells, but these are Dwarven, they don't use magic. Well, let me explain something. There is a fantastic magic item that, for me, is just so Kharadron Overlords that I couldn't imagine not taking this item in an army because it's that damn cool. This item is called the Spell in a Bottle, and you might have heard some Kharadron Overlords players talking about taking Endless Spells before, and this is how they're doing it. So the Spell in a Bottle is an artifact that can only be attached to a chemist, so you need an Aether Chemist to be able to do this. However, it allows you to pick any endless spell in the game. any endless spell, whether that is a generic one from Forbidden Power, or another army's endless spell, and put it in a bottle and allow your Kharadron Overlord Aether-Chemist to carry it around and then throw it at people. Like, this is such a cool thing to do. I've seen my friends that have Kharadron Overlords use all sorts of things, from Warp Lightning Vortexes from Skaven to Everblaze Comets from Stormcast, Realm Scourge Raptures from Slaves to Darkness, and generic ones like a Purple Sun and Geminins of Ulgish. It's a fantastic magic item, and I really recommend investing in an Aether-Chemist just so you can have this fun of using an endless spell in an army that shouldn't have any. It's fantastic. But that's enough rambling from me today. I hope this video has been a little bit helpful for anyone thinking of getting into Kharadron Overlords. They're a fantastic army with a really unique and great aesthetic, and I can't wait to see some armies from people who've looked at this video and started a Kharadron Overlord army. But don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're getting so close to that 1,000. I want to hit it by my birthday on June 5th. That'd be amazing. Also, if you want to, you can join the Cinderful Gaming Discord. I'm always in there chatting to people at all times at the moment. I mean, I'm not working at the moment, so I'm in there most of the day chatting away to folks. You can come join us in the Cinderful Gaming Discord. I'll leave a link in the description down below. And lastly, don't forget, everyone, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. I'll see you all again real soon.